In preparation for today's exercise, you'll need to install Python and Postman. Links in the description below. Today we'll be getting some basic familiarity with Flask, and we'll be exposed to HTTP concepts. Let's start by creating a directory for today's exercise, and then opening it in Visual Studio Code or whichever IDE you're comfortable with. We'll right-click in the Explorer window and create our app.py. In a terminal or command prompt, make sure you have Flask installed. You can do that with pip. Now let's create our simple Flask application. We import our dependency and establish a basic endpoint that just returns a happy string. Let's run the application. app.py. Next step, let's open this endpoint in Postman. In Postman, we'll hit the plus up here, make sure that the verb is set to get, and then enter localhost 5000 as the URL. We'll send that request and note the response. Note also that a log entry is made when we make that request. Back in the code, let's adjust this route. Let's make it message of the day, MOTD. Save that, go back to our command prompt, end that with Control-C, and then run the code again. Because we updated the route, we have to rerun the application. Back in Postman, we'll go back to that GET request that we had, and we'll just add to it MOTD. That /MOTD route change allows us to send and get that same result on a different route. What if instead we wanted to read that message of the day from a file? Let's do that. Start by creating a file here, motd.txt. We'll put in the happy non-zero day. Save that. Then over here, let's change this code so it actually returns the contents of that text file. Great. Now, let's migrate over to the command prompt, rerun the application. Excellent. And then call it in Postman. Should just be the same route, same verb. We submit that request, we should see the contents. And note that if we change the contents of that file, say to happy non-zero week, save that, navigate back to Postman, and send the request again, the request will actually change without having to relaunch the application. Up till now, the only verb we've played with is get, but there's quite a few alternative verbs we could be using. Next, we'll be playing with a post verb. Back in code, the next step's going to require us to know a little bit more about the request body, so we'll import that library from Flask as well. Save that, then we'll add a little bit more code here, another route. So this adds a route set message of the day with the method of post. Then within that, we open up that file for write. We review the request body that's submit in and pull the message of the day element out. If that all goes well, we return the word success. Let's rerun that app and then open it up in Postman. In Postman, we like this request, so let's just create another one. Within that, we can say localhost 5000 / set message of the day. That's our new endpoint. The verb has to be a post. And then we need to go into body, raw, JSON, and then we can enter something of this form in order to be able to communicate with it. So let's squiggly bracket, MOTD, colon, happy non-zero day. Then we should be able to send that. We got back success. That's a good sign. Back over on the get, if we request, we see it now says day. And if we change that over here to month and send that again, success, and month. Today we installed and built a simple Flask application. Created a get endpoint, created a post endpoint, and called each of those endpoints via HTTP in Postman. If you have additional time, you might look into playing with some additional endpoints, creating more routes, seeing how different verbs work. If you're particularly adventurous, you can look into the HTTP specification and see what the intent is for each of those routes or verbs. If not, congratulations on a non-zero day.